So after you sign a term sheet, what's the next step? The diligence is completed, investor is satisfied that it is a company that it could invest in. So the next level becomes execution of what we commonly call as a transaction documents. Now, what are transaction documents? Transaction documents are the final binding document. This is what seals a deal. These documents set out how the investment will take place, when it will take place, and it will set out the broad understandings that the parties had agreed to in further detail. A transaction document could be a single document, a composite document which will put together everything, be it subscription, purchase, shareholder rights, it's all in one. Or they could be multiple transaction documents depending on the structure of the transaction. When you talk about multiple transaction documents, typically you talk about three broad heads. There could be others as well, depending on the deal structure, but there are three broad heads. One is a subscription agreement. Now, subscription agreement is when there is direct infusion of funds into the company. So the subscription could be either share subscription when you're talking about equity or you're talking about preference, or it could be debenture subscription when you're talking about debentures. Preference or debenture agreements could be instruments which are quasi-convertible or convertible completely, or they could be non-convertible, but that's a discussion for another time. The second agreement is a share purchase agreement. This is usually executed when there is a secondary acquisition also being taken on by the investor as part of the transaction. The final agreement is a shareholders agreement, and this agreement sets out the shareholder rights and obligations of the investor and the promoters of the company. The term sheet and the transaction documents usually contain jargon which could be amusing to some and confusing to others. And in the next session, we will get into understanding what these terms mean and how they can be used in transaction documents.